Good morning, market snipers. Welcome back. This is Jesse. We're getting started right at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right on the dot as usual on this manic Monday. Woo! Bitcoin bull trap part two. Part two. We're going to get into all that today. If you're new to the live stream, awesome. Welcome. If you're returning to the live stream, even better. Good to see you back on here. We will cover, on the first half, we'll cover Bitcoin, altcoins, stocks, anything that jumps out at us on the watch list. And on the second half of the live stream, we'll cover your chart requests. We're going to try to keep it to about an hour or less today. We got a lot to do, a lot on our plate as usual, but I want to get through all the charts and get rocking and rolling over here. But obviously, none of this is financial advice. Obviously, this is for educational purposes only, and hopefully have a little bit of fun along the way, whether that's making fun of me or not. Woo-wee. Lucky look. Hello, hello, hello. Okay. Okay. All right. Don't need any of that. Delete and ban. We don't need spam. We don't need spam. Good morning, Jason. Welcome back. Welcome back. So there we go. We'll cover all of this and more on today's live stream. So let's jump right into it. Let's not waste any more time. But help me with the algorithms. I'd appreciate it. Smash the like, comment, repost, restream, all of that. And we'll get rocking and rolling over here. Boom. Bull trap part one, right? Bull trap part one. We talked about it the whole way down over here that we were expecting a bounce. We were expecting a relief rally. Price was getting oversold. You can see the blue candles. And then we saw what, a 21, 22% bounce wick to wick. 21.71. So almost 22% if you round up. Hit the exact same two market sniper targets that we had in March, April of 2022. Hit the exact same two targets. Not one, but two. That's why we had a box. There was two of them in there. And then we were talking about price breaking back down, and then price came all the way down to $60,000 on that drop. Quick little target over here was at 73,000. Same, not the exact same, but very similar consolidation pattern to up here. It hasn't lasted as long, but it also didn't last as long as 2022. So that you had a longer consolidation, pump up, and then a drop. A lesser consolidation in 2022, pump up. Now we're at the point, is it going to do a double pump and pump a little bit higher? Or is it going to put in that lower high over here, or put a lower high in over here, wherever it is, and then start to make its descent, right? So if this is bull trap 1, bull trap 2, right? And if we start seeing candles break below, start to see that candle break below, then the probabilities will continue to increase that price is going much lower and that the bottom is not in again. And we're definitely not seeing $250,000 Bitcoin by the end of 2025. Definitely not seeing $130,000 Bitcoin by the end of January 2025, 2026. We're not seeing $250,000 Bitcoin by the end of Q1 2026. All things we were told by the talking heads for the past 6 months. Meanwhile, or 5 months. What is it? Let's see. November, December, 5 months, not 6 months. Come on, Jesse. Use your fingers to count. For the last 5 months, we've been talking about and posting the Bitcoin bear market roadmap. We posted the Bitcoin bear market roadmap October 10th. We posted the Wyckoff distribution on October 8th. All the Wyckofian experts, self-proclaimed experts, said my Wyckoff chart was wrong. Okay. Well, I've only drawn one in my life. I've only drawn one in my life, and all the Wyckofian self-proclaimed experts got it wrong. And the Wyckoff chart that I posted one time in my life actually worked out, right? So I'm one for one. And I have no desire to be a Wyckofian self-proclaimed expert. I have no desire to be sorry if you're a Wyckoff expert. Sorry if you're an Elliott wave expert, but I have no desire to be a so-called Elliott wave or Wyckoff expert, right? Do I use them as chart ideas that are lining up with my own uh thought thesis? Yes. Yes, I do. But just looking at those patterns by themselves, it's not accurate enough for me long term. Just like I'm not just a patterns guy. It's putting it all together. But patterns used as a chart idea, like Elliott wave, like Wyckoff, paired with what you're already seeing on the charts, okay, then I'm all for it. But just to be a patterns guy by itself, it's not good enough for me. Just being a Wyckoff guy by itself, not good enough for me. Just being an Elliott wave guy myself, not good enough for me. So it's pairing what you're already seeing on the charts with momentum, divergences, all that stuff, and then pairing it with a pattern or a fractal or a Elliott wave or Wyckoff. Okay. Stacking probabilities in our favor. Okay. But just using it by itself and being an expert in it, I can show you at least 50% of the times the experts are wrong. And then the targets itself probably work out 30 to 35% of the time, right? This target worked out, that would be included into one of the 30 to 35% of the time. I don't have any real data on it, just from the obsessively staring at charts with chart data. So that's enough for the ramble for today. Sometimes I go on a little quick rant or ramble early on, but this is what we're taking a look at over here. Bull trap 1 hit the exact targets. Bull trap 2 in progress, right? So we had 2 paths laid out, and it's still possible that we still see the blue path, where the blue path would be here. Let me draw it a little bit better. The blue path would be more like this, right? This blue path is still on the table. Let's switch that to blue. And then let's move it over. So it's still possible we see something similar to that. So whether price puts in the lower high or puts in a double pump like this before reversing back down, either one. I'm still leaning towards yellow, but it doesn't mean that blue won't work out, right? So, and I drew it better to where, I thought that they would both end up in the same direction downward and into the same target area. So you got to expect fake outs along the way. And the reason why we always lean towards a fake out to the upside and further downside is not because I'm a perma bear. It's not because I'm always bearish. But in a bear market, we expect fake outs, bounces, relief rallies, dead cat bounces, whatever you want to call it, while the overall higher time frame momentum is bearish. The overall higher time frame is bearish. And we're going to cover all that. We'll cover the weekly chart, 2-week chart, 3-week chart, monthly chart, all of that. So that's why in a bull market, any pullbacks, corrections, drops, we are expecting to buy the dip, right? We're expecting to buy the dip in a bull market. So that's where we're at. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Marcus Sniper in the house. Welcome back. But before we get into the weekly chart, 2-week chart, 3-week chart, monthly chart, we don't have any paid sponsors. We don't have any paid affiliates. We've never taken $1 affiliate money. So we do take a quick glance over here of what we got going on at Market Sniper Pro. Got the website over here. You go to Jesse Olson profile as well, and then find the website. The website's it'll take you to over here. Block out the noise, charts, dashboard, setups, all that stuff. It's got all the features you can take a look at. Our own charting system. Yes, we still use TradingView's bridge. There's still things we use TradingView for specifically. We still use Discord as a bridge, but we have our own dashboard setups, bot suite, coaching, 70 plus hours of recorded coaching. This alone is worth way more than $49 a month. It used to be $79 a month, and the only thing you got was a couple of indicators, recorded coaching, which the value is there. I put in countless hours to record 70 plus hours. I went all in. I put all my energy and time into it in 2022, and it's still valid today. So recorded coaching and Discord. We still use Discord as a bridge as well, but we have our own online community already built on the website portal, and we still use Discord because as well as a bridge, because there's still some things on Discord we can do that we can't do on the online community. So and then of course the charting system over here, we're going to circle back to this later, but not only the chart, we have our own we converted our own TradingView indicators and stuff, and we put the sniper indicators on our own charting platform. And then of course we've built our own sniper screener based off of our own personal filters. We have an awesome consolidation filter. We have awesome divergence filters. You can go bullish divergence and you can see 3 on the daily, or you could switch it to weekly chart for RSI bullish divergence. You go to bearish divergence and look at possible breakdowns on the weekly chart, right? All of that. But we'll come back to all that. We've got some great stuff working over here, Ethereum, all that. So we'll circle back and take a look at it. But that's what we have going on over at Market Sniper Pro. Indicators, 70 plus hours of recorded coaching, our own charting system, our own screeners, dashboard, everything included. We have AI too built in, and it was trained on my recorded coaching videos. And we have AI that was trained on 7,500 plus chart posts back in the day. I was posting a lot more charts. And it's all trained. I haven't pulled the trigger on releasing it to the members yet, but I have it on the admin, and probably going to release it soon. But another market sniper in the house. What's up, Mighty Kirk? Good morning. Good to see you back on here. Woo-wee. Bull trap 1, bull trap 2 in progress. Whether it puts in a lower high or a second pump up, pump 1, come back to the trading dots, pump 2. This time it didn't find support at the trading dots, and it had that second pump. This time it closed below the trading dots, pumping back up. So maybe it doesn't get quite as high. And the overall bearish momentum on the higher time frames are more bearish now than they were over here. So those are the reasons why I'm still leaning towards, if this is it for the pump, right? Or it creates a lower high versus that second pump. Second pump, higher is still possible. I just think with the overall bearish momentum, and now you have the stock market, the indices, the bigger stocks starting to roll over as well. So all that considering, the VIX is elevated. It spiked to 35. We're going to cover all that today. The dollar still bullish slash flat today, all that. So stay tuned. But let's jump over to the weekly chart. This is the Bitcoin bear market roadmap that we put out. Oh, still on log. That we put out back on October 10th, and we're still watching it to this day. We're still watching it, right? We never expect it to play out exactly, but it's played out eerily similar, and everyone's talking about it now. Nobody was talking about it October 10th. Nobody. Hello, thanks for all you do. For the next cycle, if you were to buy Bitcoin, how much? Depends on the setup. Not a big percentage on MSTR. That's high risk. Potential high reward, but even higher risk than Bitcoin, in my opinion. So not a large percentage, a bigger percentage on BTC. But that would be for buying the right dip. So buying the right dip, I never go all in. I never give financial advice. So I'm treading lightly. I don't want to say exactly what I'm doing, and then someone tries to copy me, and you know, then the next thing you know, it was too much risk for them. So I'm always careful on my answers of what I'm doing, because I don't give financial advice, and you shouldn't copy trade me. You shouldn't copy exactly what I do. So I'm always careful, but uh my response is, if I even play MSTR at all, because a lot of times I use MSTR as a canary in the coal mine, but doesn't mean I'm going to go more than lunch money, right? And never go all in, especially on MSTR or the Bitcoin miners. Those are like catching lightning in a bottle, right? So high risk, high reward, but also potential high loss, right? So to me, Bitcoin is if MicroStrategy was leading the way or the canary in the coal mine, then I would typically lean towards buying the dip with BTC versus the MSTR, right? Why buy something that's linked to BTC? That's basically a derivative BTC when you could just do BTC, right? So that's my thoughts on it. Boom, boom, boom. Weekly chart, bear market roadmap since October 10th. Are we 5 months into Are we 22 bars into 52 bars? Right? If so, the bottom is not in, right? So again, it's not how the candle starts, it's how the candle closes. And we saw a push up to $98,000 back in January 12th, and it would push all the way back down to the close here at 93,000. Doesn't look good for that candle. And then it reversed right back around with a bearish engulfing candle, right? Oversold. Price pushed all the way up to 74,000, but closed all the way down here at 65,000. Here we are again. This candle is starting bullish, but it's day one of a weekly candle. Day one. Day 1 or 2, price was all the way up here at 74,000. and push all the way back down the last few days. So it'll be interesting to see how the weekly candle closes again, and maybe this week or next week or the week after we see a close. We see the lowest weekly candle close we've seen since, going all the way back to 2024, right? So seems to be right on track, and right on track from all the way over here. So we've we've hit 3 out of 5 targets. Bitcoin has hit all 5 targets in the previous bear market. Gave us bullish diversions, all of that, right? All of that. So we'll see how it plays out. We still haven't hit the 200-week SMA yet. Still looking to hit the 200-week SMA, and that's over here just below $59,000 currently right now. If we switch to a line chart, this is basically the same thing, but just a slightly different view. You can see that this little bounce here looks very similar to this little bounce here. And of course, prices on the line chart was all the way up here at 74,000. It looked like a lot better than what the actual close was. So again, we had this little 1 week bounce at the end of the day. This 1 week little bounce. And I talked about it yesterday before this pump up to 69,000, whatever it was. This next week, we could see prices closing down here, right? So again, this bounce could be sold off, and we could be down here by the end of this week. So, we still have 6 more days. So we'll see. And then by next week, which is 13 more days, we could see price all the way back down to the 200. Mike's good. 200-week SMA as well, or below it. So if you look at it from here, let's see, this was 1, 2. Price came all the way down here. So 1, 2, right? It's possible, not this week, but next week, we see price back into the opportunity zone. The opportunity zone. So this isn't the first time we've ever talked about the opportunity zone. I made the opportunity zone very popular in 2022. To my knowledge, I was the first person to post an opportunity zone in 2022. And then, of course, all the copycat accounts out there started posting the opportunity zone in 2022. And here we are again. I'm not seeing too many people talk about the opportunity zone again. So we're talking about the opportunity zone again. And I'm not seeing too many people talk about it right now. When price comes back down here and it's below the 200-week SMA, we'll start seeing a lot more people talk about the opportunity zone, right? So the opportunity zone, I don't give advice, but I still personally am going to wait to buy the right dip. I'll be looking to buy the right dip. I'm not going to just dollar cost average blindly into the opportunity zone. Still going to wait for a buying the right dip opportunity, right? So hopefully the market bosses give us bullish divergence at the bottom again, just like they gave us bearish divergence at the top again, and bullish divergence on the 2022 bottom, and bearish divergence at the 2021 top. Oh, and bullish divergence on July 2021, played that one, and the bearish divergence in from January to April 2021, right? Hopefully the market bosses continue to give us bearish and bullish divergence at the top of Bitcoin. It's amazing. It's amazing. Thank you, market bosses. I appreciate you. So that's where we're at right now. That's the weekly chart. Slightly different look here on bear market roadmap on the line chart, but let's switch back to candles. Let's look at the 2-week chart. Weekly chart, their weekly trading dots are now down to 84,000, still trending downward, Those weekly trading dots came all the way back. Here, let's go over to those weekly trading dots came all the way back to the 200-week SMA as well, right? And went below it. So we're not even there yet. The red trading dots coming back to the 200-week SMA would be at 1.17. So there's still time. There's still time. 2-week chart. A new candle starts in another week from now. So red trading dots are currently at, let's see. Let's do this. Red trading dots are still up here at 98,000. You saw the red trading dots come all the way back down to the 200-week SMA as well, and went all the way below it, on top of it, right? So the red trading dots haven't even come all the way back down yet. It's just going to take time for the momentum to get turned around, right? Everyone calling for $250,000 Bitcoin. Everyone calling for a V-shaped recovery while the higher time frames have rolled over, right? The higher time frames are rolling over. Never had a sell signal below the trading dots this entire run until November, right? This is a 2-week chart, so it's lagging. Never had a sell. Well, I guess it did over here. 3-week chart. Candle close below the trading dots. Never had a candle close below the trading dots this entire bull run. Never had a 3-week candle close below the trading dots until the bear market. Red trending dots. Red trending dots, right? So even these red trending dots, not only did they come back to the 200-week SMA, but came below it as well, right? That would be signaling that we're probably closer to the end, is that when the trading dots continue to move closer and closer and closer to the 200-week SMA. So we'll keep an eye on it. Sweet Canary 3006. Hi, Jesse. Thanks for being with us every day. Yep. Every day that the stock market is open and that I'm able and willing to do a live stream. So help me, help you, help me stay motivated by smashing a like, commenting, reposting, restreaming, all that stuff. I appreciate it. 3-week chart. It's up here, right? Boom, 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 boom. Damon Jackson, Market Sniper in the house. What's up? What's up? What's up? Appreciate your consistency. Can we check out the week chart? Palladium. Yeah. Oh, I saw your comment on X as well. Talking about Palladium. Yeah, we can take a look at it. Stick around. Stick around. We'll look at it. So the red train dots, 3-week chart. Yep, talked about that. Monthly chart. No red trending dots yet. Yet. So, but we did have the sell signal on the monthly chart. We did have the sell signal on the monthly chart, and we could see a red trending dot in the near future. The red trending dots did come over below the 200-week SMA, but it's very lagging. So it's really lagging time-wise. And by the time the red trending dots came and went below it, the bull market was already on. The bull market was already on. So we'll keep an eye on it, but it's really lagging. Um, um, still bearish. MACD still bearish, right? Bearish divergence on the histogram, all that. You can find all that on the screener too, right? We have the divergence for MACD and RSI all on there. There's a lot of good filters on there, so you can customize it the way you want. I did a video on it, and it's still on YouTube, and you could probably find it on X as well. Might be a little bit more difficult to find it on X, but you can search for it there. Of course, posted it on the Discord as well, and but it's on YouTube too. So that's that. I think that's about it for. Oh no, let's take a look at HODL weekly chart. Right, similar thoughts. Bitcoin futures, similar thoughts. Bitcoin versus gold, still ultra bearish. Still letting the training dots catch up on the weekly chart. Monthly chart, couple things to point out. We're going to keep pointing it out. We've been pointing it out. And it might sound redundant, but this is what needs to be said, whether you're saying it to yourself or reading to the charts to yourself. Help you stay neutral, not getting too bullish or too bearish, is repetition, right? So repetition, talking about it, because the perma bulls are very convincing, and the perma bears are very convincing. So you just want to stay neutral and be a perma sniper. But a couple things to point out. Probably nothing, but definitely something. We have a downward sloping 200-week SMA on Bitcoin versus gold. That's never happened in the history of Bitcoin versus gold. First time ever. That's not bullish. The first time in history we had a monthly RSI close at 34. Bitcoin versus gold. Broke that 11-year trend line, broke the 7-year trend line, and closed below it. 34 RSI on the monthly chart. It's the lowest ever. So two things to consider that this time could be different, because two things are different this time. So just two things I keep pointing out. Bum, bum, bum. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 red months in a row. 7. We'll see how March turns out. But it's Bitcoin versus gold. I don't personally trade the pair, but you could. I'm not against it. I just never have. Never felt the need to. Bitcoin versus the euro. Already tagged the 200-week SMA. Let's switch over to Ethereum. Another thing to think about is that on the monthly chart for Ethereum is the monthly close made a lower high. Didn't make a higher high. Took out the high with a wick. So the lower time frames did make a higher high, but not the monthly chart. Downward sloping 200-week SMA on Ethereum for the first time ever. We've got a red trending dot on the monthly chart as well. Red trending dot. So a couple things to think about on Ethereum. Possible to see prices come back down to this area again. When? We don't know. We don't have a magic crystal ball, but it's possible. XRP. Chainlink, downward sloping 200-week SMA. Cardano. downward sloping 200-week SMA. Algo, same thing. H bar, same thing. XLM, same thing. Near, same thing. Could we mic check. Could we see some bounces along the way? You would think we would see some massive bounces along the way, but each bounce is getting sold off, right? So we do expect that, but you know, this wick to wick bounce, 84% sold off, right? Wick to wick bounce, 34%, 35% sold off. Bounce, 73% wick to wick is going to get sold off, right? That's the theme. Not because I'm bearish, but because the overall monthly, 2-week, 3-week, weekly chart momentum is all bearish. So did near find a bottom? Maybe, but it's too early to call it. It's possible the bounce is only back into the trailing dots, but price just took out the October 2023 low. Price came all the way back to November 2020. Full round trip. 5.5 years later, near took a full round trip. Reason number 998 why I don't buy and hold. No, thank you. Worst case, I would buy and hold and try to make 3, 4, 5% of my cash. That's like worst. Second worst. Worst is holding 5.5 years when you're battling inflation, when you're battling gas prices at the pump that jumped up from 450 to I don't even know what it is today, but I filled up gas 2 or 3 days ago, and it was jumped from 450 to 550 for 87 octane in Orange County. Seeing reports of $7 to $8 in LA County. I haven't seen it personally, but I'm seeing reports on it. Yeah, organic eggs are no longer $10. They're back to like $5.50. But there was a time when organic eggs were like $3. Mic check, good. So you have to outpace inflation. The dollar is losing its value. And when Bitcoin is in a bear market, you still have to outpace inflation, right? And one of the things that the unpopular thought is that Bitcoin's true value is the 200-week SMA, just like all other assets. Because once it goes multiple deviations away from the 200-week SMA, price eventually comes back to retest it. Whether it's to the upside or downside, price comes back to the 200-week. So you can look back all the way back to 2018. The 200-week SMA was 3,500. 2 years later, it was 5,000. 2 years later, it was 22,000. 2 years later, it was 38,000. 2 years later, it's at 59,000. And where's price? Came all the way to $60,000. So it's unpopular because everyone says Bitcoin's worth $1 million. But the reality is price comes back to the 200-week SMA. And yes, that's upward growth. But that's not as much upward growth as some other assets. Not that many people were buying in 2018 bottoms. But if you were, that's 1,500% over 8 years, right? That's pretty good. But not too many people were buying there. If you look at Sailor's buying of Bitcoin, his average is $73,000. That's probably pretty common for most people. Most people got caught up in retail over here. So most people buys are probably at 40,000, 60,000, or 80,000, right? So maybe somewhere 40, 60, 80,000. I think I saw on-chain data that it was like the realized losses are real right now, right? People are underwater on their Bitcoin. So it's not reality that they're buying down here and then they buy again down here and they buy down here. Reality is they buy up here and they buy up here. That's reality according to on-chain data. So not to get too sidetracked over there, but uh what's the 2-week chart doing for, let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Chart patterns. This triangle target pattern 110,266. It took a while for that from breakout. Let's see, that was October 2023 to by the time it hit it on that price, May 2022. So it took like 7 months to hit that target. You could say no longer, the 2025, right? So yeah, almost a year and a half to hit the exact target of that 110. And pricing didn't spend much time up there. And then of course you got this rising wedge breaking down, and uh prices come down to that $60,000, and this rising wedge target on the 2-week chart comes down to 42,000. So we have a lot of reasons. Obviously, I don't trade just based off of this. I never would. Uh, but this does line up with our own target box on target 5, where Bitcoin did hit target 5 in the last bear market of 2022. So I like to look at it because it does line up with what we already have. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But again, on the indicators, we have the sniper filters over here, and then we have a lot more. We have, these are auto trend lines drawn. We have the gap detection automatically on there, chart patterns. You can add a lot of different things on there. Of course, we got standard relative strength, but we have the sniper RSI on there already. Volume, whatever you're into, right? Let's see. Let's go back to MSTR, the weekly chart. Still watching the Adam and Eve double top pattern. I probably could have drawn this better. This is just freestyle, but could have drawn like a real triangle, right? Does it matter? No. But here we are, still watching it play out in the opportunity zone, but still waiting to buy the right dip. Why? Because the dip could keep dipping. And if it creates bullish divergence, that means that price is going to go lower first and then break out. So we'll see. The canary in the coal mine for MSTR. Woo-wee. The canary in the coal mine. Over here, we were talking about it. Many were calling for $250,000 Bitcoin, super cycle, all of that. Back in October, when I posted the bear market roadmap. Meanwhile, I posted this Adam and Eve double top pattern. There's bearish engulfing candle on the weekly chart. We already had the sell signal. And I said, you still think Bitcoin is going to $250,000 by the end of 2025? I said, that's cute. That's cute. Why? Not because we have a magic crystal ball, but because the canary in the coal mine, the bearish divergence, topping pattern, extended away from the 200-week SMA. So many reasons why the top was forming a top. Catching a bounce after the big drop. But what's more important here on the NASDAQ is that we had a weekly sell signal. Price did come all the way down here last night, down below 24,000. And it's getting a pump up on the weekly chart. Daily chart is bearish. Weekly chart is bearish. Battling target one. And the probabilities continue to increase more and more that we're going to see additional targets get hit. You start closing below target one, the probabilities really increase of hitting target two. Same thing for target three, same thing with target four, and so on and so on and so on. So it's battling. It's hard to kill a bull. It's hard to kill a bull, but it's battling. SP 500 looks weaker. Gold, fractal, still playing out. We took this gold fractal on the live stream from over here, and we said, it's possible the top is not in yet. Why? Because the higher time frames are still bullish. The higher time frames are still ultra bullish. We said that again over here. We said that over here. We said that over here. And then price went on to make a new all-time high. Then we took this fractal over here on January 30th, February 2nd, maybe somewhere around it over here. We put this fractal. It's just this fractal over here. It's not like some secret fractal that I found. And it's like playing out very similar again, back to back, right? People calling the top, people calling the top. We're not ready to call the top yet. That's gold. We'll see. Silver. We drew this out, right? Dollar broke out of the downward wedge. Weekly chart had a buy signal confirmed, right? We talked about it when it was a pending buy signal. Then it was a buy signal. Doesn't mean it couldn't come back for a retest. Definitely could. You got the train dots still down here at red. So we'll see. But pending RSI buy signal as well. So we had a bullish MACD crossover on the weekly chart. And it's getting closer and closer to the zero line, which is another bullish milestone. So it's lining up that even if it's short term comes back for a retest, that we could see a much higher dollar, right? So VIX down 10%, but it had spiked to 35. The breakout was real. Coil. Daily chart is bullish. Weekly chart is bullish. 2-week chart is bullish. 3-week chart is bullish. And monthly chart is bullish. Right? But it's a wild animal. It's a wild animal. VIX spike highest in nearly a year, about 11 months, right? So spiking hard, down 10% today, but was up like, what was it? I think it was up like, what happened? Yeah, it was up like 20%, and now it's like down 10%. So, like I said, it's a wild animal, but it's bullish on the weekly chart. What else before we switch over to oil? Ultra bullish on the weekly chart. Had bullish divergence. I pointed it out. Talked about the bullish divergence. Adam and Eve double bottom. Break of trend line. Buy signal in the weekly chart at $61. And then spiked hard to 120. But we didn't hear about the news back here. we heard about the news this week and last week, right? So charts are still greater than news. Charts are still greater than narratives. And that's where we're at right now. Ultra bullish on the weekly chart. It's the highest oil spike we've seen since June 2022. The highest oil spike we've seen since March 2022. We saw a massive spike in 2008 all the way to 147. So the past has told us that during those times, the market was going through a correction, right? Here we are, we're bullish on the weekly chart. So seems the inverse of the market is oil on a couple instances, not always, right? March 2020, it was crashing at the same time. So not always. But interesting that we saw oil spike in February and then again in June 2022. And then price came back to the 200-week SMA, just like the overall markets did as well. 2008, oil was pumping hard, all the way to 146, and then crashed, right? So right now, the 2-week chart is ultra bullish and can remain ultra bullish. It's ultra bullish right now. 3-week chart is ultra bullish right now. And we just got a first green trending dot, right? So the move might not be done yet. Monthly chart has a pending buy signal. It's still pending buy signal. It could be an early move, right? You got a buy signal down here, pumped all the way up for months. You got a buy signal over here, it's pumping for months, right? Over a year. So this is the first buy signal, and it's a buy signal above the 200-week SMA and the trailing dots and this and that. So broke that trend line. Let's switch that back over. Oh, 2 white. There you go. 2 white. 2-point white. There you go. What else? What else can we see? What else do we see? Okay. That's monthly chart, weekly chart. Could it come back for, fill a gap and retest and all that? Sure, it could. But it's bullish on all time frames right now. Seems like it's by the dip season for US oil, which just spiked at 119. Was that it? Maybe. Maybe it comes all the way back down and then goes for another bigger move. It's hard to say. But it's spiked hard. I wouldn't be chasing right now. I would let it reset before I personally buy. That's US oil. West Texas looks the same. Palladium. See, that's a weekly chart. Daily chart. Is it by the dip season for palladium? Ba-ba. %. So 25%. Healthy corrections. Weekly chart is still bullish. Below the trending dots, had a candle close, but could gain those trending dots. Weekly chart is still bullish above the trending dots. It's pretty far extended away though. 3-week chart, 200-week SMA is starting to curl back up. It's still possible that comes back down here first and then makes another bigger move. Monthly chart is still bullish, right? So it's always possible that you still see longer consolidation, right? So however it plays out, trending dots. That'd be crazy. So bullish on the higher time frames, bearish on the daily chart. Now it's just a matter of, looking for that next move, which could take some time to play out. There was a retest here. So it broke out, retest, and then made a move. So doesn't mean it's going to come all the way back down to the 200-week SMA. So palladium, is it buy the dip season? Seems like it. Seems like it's buy the dip season versus short the bounce season. What else? Hymns 40%. Boom, boom, boom. Gapped it up. So is it chasing now? Boom, 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 boom. I think that's about it there. Let's switch over to the Magnificent 7, aka the Magnificent 300. Dow Jones, transportation, sell signal. The first target was already hit, so I removed it. That's the second target, third target, and fourth target. 200-week SMA is all the way down here at 15,000. That was a big drop. That's a big drop for Dow Jones Transportation, and already hit target 1 and almost hit target 2. And a lot of times Dow Jones Transportation is also a canary in the coal mine for the indices, something to think about. So if it's coming down and hitting target 2 first, then are the indices going to follow Dow Jones Transportation second? It's possible. It's possible. Tesla, this was our blue area, and it spiked down and hit it already, right? So we talked about this, the bearish divergence. We talked about the sell signal price breaking down at 458. Looked like Wyckoff distribution. Looked like this is kind of the spring for the opposite direction, right? The bull trap, whatever you want to call it. And the sell signal and closing back below here, red arrow down. And then we had a lot of reasons why price could come back down lower. And in hindsight, price come back down lower. So still a lot of reasons below. PLTR, still bouncing, found support so far at target 3. I never drew target 4, got lazy. Amazon, bounce, drop. There's still a gap up here, gaps everywhere. Netflix, we drew this out on the pending buy signal end of February. And next thing you know, it spiked all the way up here. We put out this whole fractal back on that pending buy signal over here. So this kind of shows that it's possible it does bearish divergence, puts in a lower high, and then drops down, signaling that this is the relief rally. This is like the relief rally. So all-time high, 40% drop, relief rally, build the right shoulder. Next bigger drop after that. So we'll see if that works out or not. Meta. Filled this gap over here. Boom. And then started dropping. ANF. Nearly all the way back to the 200-week SMA. We missed this gap. We missed this gap. But we weren't going to chase either one. I don't like chasing. Just look for the next setup. This is my motto. Dow Jones. Similar thoughts to the Dow Jones transportation. Right? IWM, same thing. Russell 2000 broke the upward channel yesterday or Friday, and then spiked all the way down to 2417. We had the bearish divergence, lower highs, lower lows. Dow Jones futures, rising wedge, most likely bearish divergence, right? So bearish divergence, lower high, back test, drop. Woo-wee. Microsoft, bear market, SPX, SP 500 futures. Mic check. Yep, good. SPY, similar thoughts. Topping pattern. Dollar, we covered it. SMCI, still bearish. Still below the 200-week SMA. Apple, flat today, but still could be the top plus a lower high. QQQ, NASDAQ spiked down to target 1. Dow Jones Transportation is down here at target 2. Is it leading the way? That's what we'll keep an eye on. TQQQQQQ failing forward. So the next flush, if we get another big flush, the next flush, I'll probably lock in more profits on my put calls because going to run out of time, right? Going to run out of time, and I don't want to roll it. So be closing out more and more. So there we go. TQQQQ, Google, bearish divergence, NVIDIA, still holding on, still the exact same price as it was July 2025. So it's been going through a massive consolidation, sideways consolidation, but the weekly chart, red trading dots flip to bearish engulfing candle, sell signal. So it's looking like a topping pattern. I think that's about it there. Let's go back to the Bitcoin. Keep an eye on that, and we'll double check, see if there's any other chart requests. Covered palladium. Martin, good morning. Good morning. Eventually, when we see bullish divergence like we did in 2022, everybody wanted to short the bottom. A lot of people were calling for $10,000 Bitcoin. The perma bears were so loud that it was going to 3,500. So we're not seeing that yet, but we'll be there for when it does, and that's when I'll have unpopular bullish charts, and then I'll get really bullish and annoyingly bullish again. But not yet. I think that's about it. So I think we're gonna leave it at that. I'm not seeing too many follow-ups or anything else, but bull trap 1, Bull trap 2 in progress. Will it have this one spike, then a lower high, and then start to come back down by the end of March? Possible. Or will it be similar to this bull trap where it pumped up, came back down the trailing dots, pumped up one more time, then broke back down? If so, be a pump up one, come back down the trailing dots, did close below it, a little bit different, uh, and then come back up, maybe close around that 74, 75,000, and then reverse right back down. So could be similar to this, or it could just be following the yellow path that was laid out before the pump up. So with that, hope everyone has a good rest of your day. Hope you had a good weekend. Hopefully you got to spend some time with your friends and family. And we had some good times with the baby this weekend. Took her to this outdoor. Well, the food is indoor, but they have food outdoor as well. They had like the fake putting greens. They have the bocce ball courts, basketball, uh, a fake grass play area. So probably like 200 to 300 people of families with all their little kids running around. Concert at 6 p.m. So we went for like an early dinner slash got to listen to like 3 or 4 songs, but then it starts getting too late. But had a good time watching the baby dance and watch all the kids, play with kids, stuff like that. Eat some high calorie food, maybe a beer. So with all that, had a good time. And other than that, just got to get outside. It was 75-degree, 80-degree weather here in Orange County, and took her to the park and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys were able to spend some time outside if it's not 40 below. Spend some time with friends and family. So with that, have a good rest of your night. Thank you for all of your support. Appreciate you. And we'll see you on the next live stream tomorrow. Adios.